Today, let's have a quick discussion on lenses. Specifically what it is I want to discuss is the misconception that you have to be spending $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 on a lens. Now that might have been the case, 10, 15, 20 years ago, but in my opinion, today, lenses have come a long ways. Third-party lenses have come a very long ways. Now, if you watched my channel before, you know that I'm a Fuji shooter, so of course, I have a lot of Fuji glass. Now, I love the Fuji glass. I think they're fantastic lenses, and honestly, I don't think the price is all that outrageous on them. But you see a lot of different brands out there have some unbelievably expensive glass. Talking the Nikon Z series lenses. Some of them you can get at a fairly decent price, but look at the price of, say, a Nikon Z50 1.2. Now, I'm not here to say that something like a Nikon Z series lens or the Sony GM lenses or whatever it is that Canon makes are not great lenses. They are great lenses. They're extremely sharp. They're, corner to corner sharpness. But is it a lens that you actually need? That's more what it is that I'm talking about. I think a lot of people give into that hype that they have to have this clinically sharp lens, corner to corner, there's no light fall off, anything on this lens. It has to be perfect. But does it really? Brings me into a lens like this. This is the Viltrox 35 1.7 for the Fuji systems. Brand new, I think this lens runs just under $200. It's not the greatest quality lens. It's a plastic build. I definitely don't feel like it would survive a good fall, but I love this lens. I love the characteristics of this lens, the look that this lens has. Does it have flaws? Yeah, it does. Has a lot of light fall off, but it has a lot of character. And for a wedding and portrait photographer, I think that's what it is that really matters, is some of the character to the lens. It gives a different life to it. It has a different feeling to it. It doesn't have that clinical sharpness that you need for, say, product photography. But you hear people say that about a lens all the time, that, the lens has a real character to it. And I think the more and more sharper these lenses get, you're losing that character to the lens. Now, I've got a couple examples of some lenses that I actually use in my kit for my professional work. This here is a TT Artisan 56mm 1.8. Now on the Fuji system, this is equivalent to an 85mm. I absolutely love this lens. It's got a metal build to it. The manual focus ring feels great on it. It's real easy, real short throw for the when you're doing a manual focus on it. I bought this lens used just on a whim. I think I paid 90 bucks for it. And I've used it for a lot of different shoots. I'll actually put up some examples of some portraits and some stuff I had just taken just the other day. Then another one of my favorite lenses, and not my most used lens, but hands down my most favorite lens, is the Viltrox 85mm 1.8. Now in the Fuji system, I think this comes out to like 123.5, so it's got a good reach to it. But this is such an amazing lens, and the compression to it, the background separation. I've used this for quite a few different portrait shots. I use it on every wedding. And I'll put up some examples right now just showing you what this lens can do. I think I paid $250 for this lens used. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can get these for around $350, $400 brand new. An amazing lens, all metal build, huge element on it. I love this lens. And again, I didn't pay $1,500. I didn't pay $1,000 for this. I paid $250 for this, and it is more than paid for itself. Just one of my portrait sessions runs $350 to $450. So just one of those sessions using this, I made profit off it. Now, I'm not making this video to slam anyone for spending $2,000 for a lens. If you want to spend that on a lens, you do you, boo. What I'm trying to say is don't feel that pressure that you have to buy these $2,000 lenses in order to be a professional photographer, to be a working photographer. the lens quality is really dependent on the work that you're doing. Now, if you're doing product photography for, say, Coca-Cola or Versace or, Rolex, something like that, yes, you are going to spend the money on those lenses because you need to have an absolute scientifically, clinically sharp lens to be able to capture those photos in the way that they want. Now, when it comes to portrait photography, you don't need that sharpness, nor do a lot of photographers really want that absolute sharpness. It's just, in my opinion, that those extremely sharp lenses take away some of the life out of photos. It takes away some of the art out of it, some of the creative looks to it. And I myself have used those lenses before for portrait photography when I was using the Nikon cameras. I was just not a fan of them. I didn't like, again, that sharpness. It just didn't feel alive to me. It felt too perfect. So don't feel that stress about having to spend $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 on a lens. You can pick yourself up a Viltrox lens or a lot of these third-party lenses, and they work great. The technology in lenses has come so far that third-party lenses are definitely an option. You do not have to go with the name brand lenses or the native lenses to your camera system. You can look into the third party, the Viltrox, the TT Artisan. There's tons of them out there. These are the ones that I'm most familiar with and the ones that I use. So do yourself the favor, do some research on the lenses. Maybe rent one, borrow one from a buddy or something like that. Or if you can't, just pick one up. A lot of these lenses are pretty cheap on the used market. So check them out. I highly suggest checking out any of the Viltrox and the TT Artisan. The TT Artisan really blew me away. I thought for sure this was just going to be a throwaway lens that, maybe I would just end up throwing on to walk around and shoot some photos with. Not something that would end up in my kit that goes with me everywhere. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. I try to put out videos like this at least once a week when my schedule allows me to.